Hello, and welcome back to Wonderland Asylum. We're back today with issue 42 of the Hachette Partworks release of Titanic, the ship, the legend. Okay, so what do we have in issue 42? Well, looking on the magazine, we have an article on the Arabia, which is the last ship of its generation. I think it was the last one that was made entirely out of wood. A paddle steamer there, you can see. Some more on the Arabia there. Southampton, the city of martyrs. So again, we're getting a bit off topic. Southampton's Titanic story. And then we're on to the parts, which is mostly concerning details for the bridge section we worked on last time. So without further ado, let's see what's in the box. Okay, so in today's box we have the iconic bridge piece. Looks very, very nice. Nice bits of detail on the inside, all the little stanchions and everything. Looking very good. Very impressed with that. We also have CP screws, I'm assuming they're to attach said bridge. And we have little brown paper envelopes, which is a bit off whack. That's not what we normally have. So let's get these little paper envelopes open. Suppose all the hippies are trying to do away with plastic bags, aren't they? No matter how useful they are. Unlike hippies, they're not useful at all. So in here we have a ton of tiny, tiny little details which should never have been put in a paper bag that you can't see through. So what I'm going to do is, just to make sure I haven't lost any, is I'm going to rip this all the way open. I really hope the rest of the build isn't like this, because it's going to be very annoying. And there's another two here. So yeah, these are very, very small pieces. Those are the wheels, the lanterns, and I think some of the pillars that go in the bridge. Very, very small pieces, these. So you can see there, that is part of the steering wheels. Now again, these details, they may not be 100% accurate, but I think they'll classify as good enough. Okay. Again, in there was some stickers, excuse me, to do the, excuse me again, port and starboard lanterns, and a tiny little piece of decking. And here is the final little envelope, and I'm fairly sure that what is in this is the remaining details for the bridge. It is indeed. So I'll get these all sorted out. Oh, in fact there's more in there that didn't come out. See, that's what I don't like. Again, these are the little instruments that go in the bridge. Now again, what I'm going to do is rip this paper envelope all the way open, because there was something stuck at the bottom there and I don't want to lose anything. I'll be honest, I don't like these paper envelopes at all. Go back to the little plastic packets, please. I don't care how many Greenpeace activists or how much Greta Thunberg cries about it. It's not convenient. I don't care about the polar bears. I just want my model to arrive in the correct condition. But yep, so these are all the pieces that we have. Pillars, floor pieces. Very, very nice. A lot of detail, and it's very, very small, as I'm sure you can see there. And the only other thing we need from the last time is this section here. As you can see, it's still plastered down. But let me sort all this out and we'll get back with what we need in just a moment. Okay, so the first thing we need is the bridge section here, and what we're going to be working on is the light boxes. So first, what it wants us to do is take the starboard side, and it's going to be the green stickers that are going to go on there. Now I'll show you where they go. So the first one is the one with the hole on it, what I'm going to do is use my tweezers. It's going to be far easier to line it up with the tweezers than it is with my fingers, and it's going right in there. So again, as I say, line it up with the tweezers and then press into position, just like that. Then the next piece is the smaller piece, which is just here. And it's going on the back wall. Essentially, it's not quite square. So put it in like that, then squeeze it all down. Perfect. Just make sure it all sticks. And then finally, the big piece. I should be able to put this in just with my fingers. Goes on the bottom there. Nope, I was wrong. Should have lined up with the tweezers like I did with the rest of them. There we go. And that is the starboard light box. Now, we have to do the same with the port side, so I will do that and I will come back to you in just a second. And there is the port side light box, looking just like that. My own personal feelings about it being stickers is what it is. It's probably how it probably was in the real ship, although I don't know. But yeah, so the next thing we're doing is we're actually going to be attaching the bridge to the deck we made last time. So I'll take all of these off. I want to make sure this is all stuck down properly before I put the bridge piece on, because if it's not, I want to know now, because once the bridge is on it's going to be almost impossible to adjust in any way, shape or form. And it looks, and there's a wee bit of bubble in there actually, so what I'm going to do is, I don't really like using my super glue on that bit, but I'm going to have to, because I can't get underneath it to put anything else there. 2 seconds. To see if I can get my glue open first and foremost, which apparently I cannot. Eventually. It's vacuum sealed, the glue I use, but the seal does eventually go and the whole thing ends up clogged up with glue, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So this is what I do. As you can see, there's a tiny little bit of bubbling. So just put my tiny little applicator underneath it, push it down, and again just get one of my clamps, clamp it, Jed clamp it, and that should only take a couple of minutes. Now while I'm waiting on that, what I'll explain to you is there are 2 screw holes here that the bridge will screw onto, and as you can see there are 2 locating lugs as well. So it tells you how to line it up, and it also tells you this may be tricky. I believe it says. I'll tell you exactly what it is. It is a little tricky to fit. Now if the magazine is admitting this isn't the easiest thing to do, that probably means it's not a little tricky. It tends to mean this is absolutely abhorrent. We apologise. But yeah, and again I've just noticed another little bit of deck that's lifted just at the end here. Again, stick it down. Okie dokie. So, again we have the bridge here. Let's turn the deck over. Now I think the way it wants me to do it is to line these up from above. Yeah, now that's what it wants. The side pieces have to line up from above, and then everything needs to be guided in from below. So a little bit of manipulation going to be needed here, I think. There we go, and just this wee bit here. Come on. Nearly, but not quite. Right, I'll get this in and then I'll come back to you. 2 seconds. Okay, so that's that all on, and it gets held in from underneath with 2 CP screws. So put the first one lined up here, and bear in mind it is just plastic going into plastic, so don't over tighten it, just tighten it enough that it pulls it all down. And the second screw goes in just here, like that. Perfect. Now the next thing is fitting the navigation lights. Now obviously the green one goes into the green box, and it is a D-shaped pin. I don't know if you can see there. So it will only fit one way. Now I'm extremely nervous about trying to push this in, because the slightest bit of pressure in the wrong place and it will go slinging off into the ether. Yeah, perfect. So all I did there was lined the bulb up with the hole and then pushed it in with my finger, and I'll do the same with the port side one. Again, figure out what way around it goes. In fact, I didn't even need to use the tweezers. I was able to use my horrible big digits to push this one in. Again, as I say, it is a D-shaped hole, so it will only go in one way. I don't know why that one's not happy. It's definitely going in the right way. 2 seconds. Okay, I'll get that one pushed in all the way and I'll come back, because I think the next thing we're doing is starting to work on the... Hold on, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my... There we go, pliers, just to push it in. Perfect. And the next thing we're doing is this tiny little deck section here is going in there, just like that. So again, I don't want my bridge floor lifting up, so I have my horrible broken little brush. I have some PVA glue. Unfortunately with this one, I'm not really able to put a clamp on it, just because of where it is, etc. But hopefully that tiny little bit of glue should be enough to hold it down. Now obviously making sure I poke through, because I don't want the hole there being gunked up. I'm just about to use it in 2 seconds, but still, I don't want the hole being gunked up. Again, as always, peel off the sticky back paper. The holes, make sure they line up, and press it down. And that, again, a tiny little bit more white is now gone. Okie dokie. So, what's next? Next, we're going to be fitting these 5 pieces to the front of the bridge. Now they go in to these indents here, the kind of keyhole shaped ones. Now they will only fit in one way, because as you can see the little tab is indented at the bottom, so it will only go in the way it's meant to. Now I'm going to try one and see if these need glue. I don't think so. No, these are not going to need glued. They're very, very tight. Okay, which is good. Okay, so next one. Yeah, again, just looking at what holes they go into. See, there are a fair few holes in the bridge section. Don't want to go sticking things in the wrong place. Again, you can see the wee kind of indent there that tells you which way to put it. But as I say, if you try to put it in the wrong way, it just simply won't fit. Now again, I know a lot of people are looking, because you can see how that's looking already. I really like that. Now I know a lot of people are looking at the, I think is it the KA set that has upgrades for all of these instruments and everything. But I'll be honest, I think these are perfectly good. Bearing in mind, you're not, although the bridge is an iconic area, obviously, you're not really going to see into it all that much. So like these wee pieces, they're perfectly detailed for what you're going to be able to see, in my opinion. Now there are some other bits I'm not happy with that we'll come on to in later issues that I already have here, and I think some of you will know what I'm talking about. But these I'm fairly happy with, and that's what you'll see through the front of the bridge. I quite like that. I think that looks pretty good. So yeah, well done so far. Okie dokie. So what goes in next is the 2, well, steps almost. They're both exactly the same. They are basically where the man on the helm stands. There's a big hole and a small hole. As you can see, there's a big lug and a small lug. One goes in just here in the wheelhouse. Just make sure they're pushed all the way down, and then one goes into these 2 holes here and here. Again, big peg, big hole, wee peg, wee hole. Won't fit any other way. In fact, this one barely fits at all. Give me a moment. There we go. Get it all nicely pushed in. Looking cracking. And the next pieces we're putting in are the binnacles, which look just like that. And again, because of the shape of the pin on the bottom, they will only fit in one way. One of them goes in here, just like that, and the other one goes in just there in the hole closest to the front windows. Again, they will only fit one way. Again, it's a nice tight fit on mine, so they do not need gluing. See? Perfect. Okay, so what's next? Next we have the two pillars, which if you'll remember any of the Titanic movies, there were two pillars. I'll see if they need glue. Nope, no glue required for the pillars either. Fantastic. Ooh, there we go. As I said at the start when I started building it, I wasn't too keen on the fact that it's almost Lego in some ways, but by the same token, it means that if you do need to move things at a later date, it's far easier to do so. So, yeah. And then there are these two white pieces, bollards almost, and they go into this hole here and this hole here. Again, I will attempt and see if they need glue. Yep, they're going to need glue. Just make sure it was the right hole. It was the right hole I was putting it in, that's fine. And I will attempt the other one just to see how it works. And that one was actually quite tight, so it won't need glue, but this one will. Okie dokie. So it's easier just to dip the end in the glue than it is to try and mess about with an applicator. Again, just line it up with a hole. Make sure it sits square on. You don't want it squinty, and that looks just like that. And I do believe that the last thing we're doing is the wheel. Now I'll do one of these on camera for you. So this essentially is the wheel hub. So the best thing I think is, because the wheels are very, very thin photo etch, like that, and then you've got the little pin. So what I'm going to do is put the pin through the middle of the wheel. In fact, actually, I think what I'll do is I'll put the pin on the mat like that. I'll then put the wheel over the top of it, and then press this down over the top. Now it shouldn't need glue, and in fact it does not need glue. Brilliant. And that is your steering wheel. So the second one, again, pin down. If you don't have good eyesight, you may wish to use goggles of some sort for this. Wheel through the middle, and then again line up the hole, push it down, making sure it goes in straight. You don't want your wheel to be on squinty. And again, the second wheel. And they're going in the only two holes remaining, here and here. So well, the only two holes that make sense that are remaining. Now my only concern is, am I going to damage the little photo etched wheel while pushing this in? And the answer is thankfully no. So there is one steering wheel, and here is number 2 steering wheel. Now I will give a little piece of advice here. If I was doing this again, I would put the wheels in before I put those pillars. But that's just my advice. And, believe it or not, with all that work on the bridge complete, that is us for issue 42. I'll just give you another look. I think that looks magnificent. And with the bridge and everything all assembled round it, I'm really, really excited to see how this is going to look when it's all done. But yeah, thank you for watching. Okay, so that is us for issue 42. What's coming in issue 43? Well, an LED strip and the kind of walls that go around the bridge area. So yeah, and the roof for the bridge as well, incidentally, although we don't fit that at that point. But again, I can't resist showing it off. That is what the bridge is looking like at the moment. I think that's absolutely fantastic. A great amount of detail. And yeah, I'm just really, really impressed. And again, that's it from the front on. It's just awesome. It's so, so cool. I'm looking forward to seeing how this progresses. But if you want to see how this progresses, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I will be carrying this build out to completion. Please feel free to leave me a like. If there's anything you want to feed me back on, feedback, comments, criticisms, suggestions, pop them in the box below. It does help massively. But yeah, I'll be doing issue 43 hopefully tomorrow. Yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one. And as always, peace out everyone.